Live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise on CW18 starts now.
Good Monday morning to you. I'm Christina Watkins.
And I'm Jason Guy. Now at 9 o'clock, 17 more hostages are back home after being released by Hamas. The U.S. is working to extend the temporary ceasefire and rescue more hostages.
Plus, cutting a deal over border security and foreign aid. What Senate lawmakers say is on and off the table. But first, a former pro wrestling star is minutes away from getting ready to learn how long she will spend in jail after driving drunk and causing a deadly crash.
Tamara Sitch pleaded no contest to several charges related to the crash. Police say Sitch was 3 times over the legal limit for alcohol when that crash happened last year. This caused a chain reaction that ended with a 75-year-old man dead and others hurt. This wreck was in Ormond Beach in March of last year. Sitch pleaded no contest to 2 felonies, driving with a suspended license and causing death, as well as 6 misdemeanor charges. She has 3 DUI convictions out of Pennsylvania and was also charged in New Jersey. Right now, it's unclear what effect that no contest plea will have on her sentencing. She faces up to 25 years in prison. In New York, police are investigating a deadly stabbing where 3 people were killed, including a 5-year-old boy. Authorities say they got a 911 call about a man being injured in the Bronx yesterday morning. When officers got there, they found the man unconscious and unresponsive with a cut to his torso. Officers then discovered the bodies of a 33-year-old woman and the 5-year-old boy inside the apartment. It's unclear if there's any relationship between these 3 or what led to the deadly stabbings.
The former Minneapolis police officer convicted for George Floyd's murder is expected to survive. An inmate stabbed Derek Chauvin in prison. The Minnesota Attorney General's office says he went to the hospital with serious injuries. This assault happened at the Federal Correctional Institution at Tucson in Arizona. Earlier last week, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected an appeal from Chauvin more than 2 years after a jury found him guilty of several charges, including the murder of George Floyd.
Developing in Vermont this morning, police have arrested a man suspected of shooting 3 Palestinian college students on their way to a family dinner. Investigators say 48-year-old Jason Eaton confronted the men and fired at least 4 rounds without speaking and then ran. Officers say 2 of the victims are stable, but the 3rd was more seriously hurt. Eaton's motive has not yet been confirmed. He is expected in court today.
9:03, let's get you to the Middle East. Hamas released 17 more hostages in exchange for 39 Palestinians, all of whom are children. That includes a 4-year-old American girl named Abigail.
NBC's Bree Jackson reports this release is a relief for some families, but there's still several hostages being detained. And we will, of course, bring you the very latest on more hostages as they're released and how aid is being allowed into Gaza. Stay with us on air and online for any new details about negotiations between Israel and Hamas. Lawmakers are back at the Capitol this week working to forge another agreement that would send more money abroad and to the southern border. Republicans want to increase the standard for migrants seeking asylum, something that Democrats, mainly progressives, have said are inhumane and they're vowing not to support. But lawmakers may consider changes in other areas like border staffing and enforcement. President Biden's emergency request includes $14 billion addressing the southern border, along with more aid to Israel, Ukraine, and the Indo-Pacific. Lawmakers from both sides recognize that compromise could be very difficult to find before the end of the year.
The Ukrainian people have earned a vote to support them without a negotiation on the U.S. border, but there are others in the Senate who feel differently.
It's going to need policy changes. Congress is going to require that there be laws changed to make certain that the border returns to its prior state, perhaps remain in Mexico, other types of provisions that would secure the southern border.
If the group finds a deal, it needs at least 60 votes to gain Senate approval. There's no guarantee it would pass the House.
New York Representative George Santos says he expects to be expelled from Congress. It comes after a report from the House Ethics Committee found evidence he broke the law. The chairman of the committee introduced a resolution just last week to expel Santos once they come back from Thanksgiving break. No word on when or if it would actually go through.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson will travel to India and the United Arab Emirates this week for a series of meetings with key government officials. Nelson will also meet with space officials in both countries. While in the UAE, Nelson will take part in the 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, highlighting NASA's role as a global leader in providing decision makers with critical Earth science data. It'll be the first time a NASA administrator will have attended this conference. SpaceX is gearing up for another launch from our Space Coast, and the company's set to send up a batch of Starlink satellites on a Falcon 9 rocket this evening. The 4-hour launch window at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station opens tonight at 11. And much of what we know about the universe today is because of rocket launches and the equipment they haul into space.
Oh yeah, some of that equipment includes 2 telescopes. In today's Science of It, we'll look at the difference between the devices which help us see what our universe actually looks like. Plus,
I would say that after a couple years, my box is never going to show up.
Reunited with his lost military medals decades later, how Veterans Awards were finally returned to him, next on Sunrise. We're back now at 9/11. A veteran celebrating this morning after medals he lost decades ago were finally returned to him. Lance Allen explains the journey both the medals and the man that earned them have been on over this time. Oh, love seeing that. So glad that that reunion happened. Okay. On our Monday, we've dealt with some gloomy conditions, lots of clouds. It looked a little gray, but that's going to start changing here as we get over to First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. You've been tracking the movement and the timing. When are we going to see some clearer skies, Eric?
Yeah, give it a couple of hours. I think around lunchtime, Jason, is when things are going to start to sweep on out, and little by little we'll get more sun. But for now, it looks awful gloomy, doesn't it? I'll let you know this. There's no rain. It's just a deck of clouds over top of us. 62 degrees the current temperature in Orlando. We're in the upper 50s north and west of town. That deck of cloudiness kind of holding temperatures right where they are, right? Here's a look at the satellite imagery. And if you look out in the Gulf of Mexico, you can kind of see some more feathering to it instead of that solid cloud cover that we have. So we'll start to get those feathered clouds in, which gives us some of the blue skies in our horizon. So for today, with the clouds, with some cooler air pushing in, temperatures are not going to get as warm as they were yesterday. 69 degrees does it in the city, about 68 in Leesburg, 66 here in Ocala, and into the lower 70s for Brevard County. So starting with gray skies, but notice by lunchtime, 1 o'clock, there's some sunshine. More sunshine, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And of course, as the temperatures get into the upper 60s, they're going to quickly drop tonight because cooler, drier air is absolutely pushing in. So there's the feathered clouds, the wispy clouds lunchtime, and then more and more clearing through 5 p.m. Do want to let you know, though, late tonight, we're going to start to watch more clouds moving into the mix. And by tomorrow morning, it's going to be cloudy, but it's going to be chilly. Chilly air is moving in for our Tuesday, both in the morning, afternoon, and the evening. And as a matter of fact, Wednesday morning is even chillier. So be ready. We've got a couple of cold days ahead. Then looking ahead to Thursday, our temperatures start to get a bit warmer. We start to watch the next storm system developing out west, and it's going to turn everything around. So for tonight, here's where we're at. 40s to the lower 50s, just depends on where you are. Metro area, 48 degrees, 50s for Brevard County. Then tomorrow afternoon, colder, 61 our high temperature in Orlando, 60 degrees in Leesburg, 59 here in Ocala, and 57 degrees in Palm Coast. Long sleeves, sweatshirts, you betcha. It's going to be that kind of a day. Coldest air we have seen since January the 15th. And as a matter of fact, Wednesday morning is so cold with readings in the 30s and 40s. That's going to be the coldest morning we have seen in 306 days. So yeah, be ready for it. Then remember I told you that next weather maker come Thursday, Friday. Next weather maker kind of starts developing and moving our direction, and that's going to bring us a few showers looking ahead to our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But in the meantime, it's chilly, chilly air. Just have your jackets ready to go, and we'll be all good. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Breaking news doesn't wait for your alarm clock. It's constant.
We begin with breaking news this morning.
That's why we're working for you around the clock.
Preparing you with information you need to know to start your day.
Developing stories this morning.
Getting the facts, finding the stories, your stories.
Checking the skies to plan out your forecast. And of course, warning you of any traffic on the roads.
So start your day with confidence.
And wake up to a sunrise.
WESH 2 News Sunrise, starting weekday mornings at 4:30.
For decades, telescopes in space have helped us learn more about our universe, and we're bringing in first award meteorologist Eric Burris. You know, we need a scientist here to talk about how things have really been able to change with the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope.
I mean, if you think about it, going back to shuttle days, they put the Hubble up there, and then they had to put corrective lenses just to fix it, right? And then decades later, the James Webb Telescope comes up and changes the game. It's just unbelievable. It's the newest telescope, launched about 2 years ago from our Space Coast, and in today's Science of It, we're looking at the differences between these two unbelievable pieces of technology.
It's really impressive to see. And of course, Eric, you know, week after week, you take us in and we get these hands-on experiences that, it's fun for the kids, but us grown-ups really get a kick out of it.
I always think, like, you know, watching Bill Nye or Mr. Wizard or anything like, there's nothing.
Don't forget Beekman. Beekman's World.
Beekman's World. But there's always something that we can learn from it. And in this case particularly, when you think about Hubble changed the science game. And that was an old camera, think of it like that, right? You put up James Webb, that's like a high-resolution digital camera with all the bells and whistles. And the images coming out, I feel like every time NASA or whomever is running this thing puts out a photo dump of pictures, I feel like the internet stops what they're doing, because it's like, how is this reality? But James Webb is changing the game, and we've only scratched the surface of it.
And as technology improves, can you imagine what's next on the horizon?
How long until we see the little green guys?
Hey, who knows? And if you want to check out all the cool stuff happening at the Orlando Science Center, keep in mind the place is open every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., except this time of year on Wednesdays. Ahead this morning on Sunrise, unveiling the symbol of the Olympic Games.
With a magical touch, I mean, with something that seems to be, yes, kind of magical and sometimes still living, you know?
The importance of the Olympic torch and its symbolism ahead at 9:30.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise on CW18 starts now.
Thank you for staying with us. I'm Jason Guy.
And I'm Christina Watkins. Right now on Sunrise, it is Cyber Monday. We are talking you through the deals and the scams you should watch out for.
Plus, how the holiday shopping season is affecting our nation's credit card debt. We look at changes consumers are making that may chip away at the thousands of dollars borrowed. But first, here at 9:30, memorial services for former First Lady Rosalind Carter are scheduled to begin today. The wife of former President Jimmy Carter died a week ago at the age of 96. Right now, flags are at half-staff in her honor. A wreath-laying ceremony will be held today at Georgia Southwestern State University, where Mrs. Carter graduated in 1946. Tonight, she'll lie in repose at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum in Atlanta. There will be a private tribute service tomorrow. Then a private funeral service and burial will be held on Wednesday. In Plains, Georgia, the annual Christmas parade and tree lighting ceremony celebrated the life of Rosalind Carter over the weekend.
Saturday marked 60 years since President John F. Kennedy was laid to rest. President Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. He was buried 3 days later in Arlington Cemetery. People still visit his gravesite today to honor the former president. His eternal flame continues to burn as a symbol of JFK's spirit.
All right, it's 9:30, and we turn to what was a very busy holiday weekend across the U.S. as thousands of Americans began returning home after their Thanksgiving break. FlightAware said more than 7,000 flights were delayed just yesterday on what was projected to be the busiest travel day of the year. Some 46 flights had to be canceled, and nearly 5 million people were flying to destinations over the holiday season. AAA says 55.4 million people were traveling in total over the weekend, a 2% increase from last year.
All right, many Christmas tree farms are officially open across Central Florida and the country. One of the biggest tree producers is in Maine. The governor there, Janet Mills, says Christmas trees and wreaths bring in $18 million, and people will drive from states away just to get their hands on one.
So are you going to drive this all the way back down to Massachusetts?
We will strap it on the roof of the car as tight as we can and drive it down.
What is it about a Maine Christmas tree that you love so much?
It's Maine, it's fresh, smells good, and it's to get the family out and spend family time together looking for a tree.
Can you smell it through this video? It smells good. Several organizations also sell treats, hoping to raise thousands of dollars to put back in their community. That's something we see right here in Central Florida as well. So check out our tree farms here at home. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden just revealed the theme for the White House holiday season. It's called The Magic, Wonder, and Joy of the Holidays. The White House says this display captures the pure, unfiltered delight of imagination of childhood. The First Lady will officially unveil the season's decor later today. She also will give her holiday message to the nation. The White House expects to welcome about 100,000 visitors during the holiday season. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So pretty. I love it. Okay, let's talk a little shopping. This morning, of course, first Black Friday kicked things off.
Yeah, the numbers are in, and many retailers are smiling about this. There are reports showing the holiday sales set records both for in-store and online shopping. Everything's up, according to the experts from last year. One report from Sensormatic Solutions found traffic in stores rose 4.6% compared to last year. Adobe Analytics reported a record $9.8 billion in online sales. That's a 7.5% jump from last year.
Now it's Cyber Monday. So many people here at home and nationwide are opening their laptops, tablets, cell phones, whatever device you use, and you are spending some big money. Experts predict another $12 billion in sales. Those numbers could set records for holiday shopping through next month. The best deals for electronics and furniture, if this is something you're looking for, you can find those deals today. Now, there are some warnings if you do plan to take advantage of some of the Cyber Monday deals.
Yeah, WESH 2's Paola Tristan Arruda tells us what people are planning on buying and how you can avoid getting scammed. And if you're planning to buy things off Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, the Orange County Sheriff's Office wants you to be safe. Deputies recommend meeting in their designated e-commerce exchange zone. It's located in the OCSO headquarters parking lot on West Colonial Drive. Now, the area has 24-hour video surveillance, so deputies say if somebody doesn't want to meet you there, that's a red flag.
Absolutely. And you're also going to want to be careful using your credit card while shopping because of all the debt. Federal Reserve data shows the average credit card interest rate topped 22% earlier this year. You compare that to rates of 18% this time last year. It's why a new survey shows many are just cutting back this holiday season to try and recover from last year's debt.
We found that about half of Americans took on credit card debt to buy holiday gifts and do their holiday shopping last year. And of those people, around a third are still paying down those balances.
So to avoid holiday debt, experts recommend talking to your loved ones and your friends about trying to scale back on those gifts, split up the responsibilities on really expensive items, and stack your savings by using cash back apps if you can pay it back on time. That really is the key.
Consumer spending concerns have slowed down the usual holiday hiring frenzy. Retailers have been pulling back this season, announcing the fewest seasonal job openings since 2013. Stores have also opted to avoid hiring perks like sign-on bonuses as the strength of consumer spending remains in question.
So more deals and steals if you're looking to book some trips, planning ahead for next year. Tomorrow is a pretty good day to check out those prices. It is called Travel Deal Tuesday. It's when you can see those discounts on flights, rental cars, even places to stay. Experts say January is the cheapest month to fly and to stay in hotels. May or June are also some pretty good times to take a trip.
All right. We also are reminding you that WESH 2 Share Your Christmas is coming back for year 38, and making a difference in our Central Florida community has really never been so easy. We're hoping you'll join us tomorrow for our Giving Tuesday kickoff. It's a day-long telethon, and it's an online donation drive, all to raise money for Second Harvest Food Bank here in Central Florida. That money that comes in will stay right here to help our neighbors in need. It provides food and meals for kids, seniors, families, those who are barely getting by in Central Florida. Join us tomorrow on air and on our website, wesh.com, to donate.
So exciting.
And of course, it's just one of the other ways Central Florida is getting into the spirit of the holidays.
Oh yeah, we'll tell you where you can see those beautiful Christmas lights and participate in a little friendly holiday competition. Those stories and more after the break. Despite what it sounds like, the newest addition at Zoo Miami is doing quite well. Look at this new tiger. She had her first veterinarian exam I don't think she liked that, but it's okay. You just got to deal, right? The zoo says she appears to be very strong and healthy. The tiger will stay off exhibit with her mother for the next few weeks. So cute. Here at home, Jolene, the snoutless gator, a fan favorite across Central Florida, caught in Seminole County and then taken to Gatorland, is making great progress. The Gatorland spokesperson says she's no longer living off of frogs and snails anymore. Oh no. Jolene can now eat chicken, fish, and steak. It's helped her put on a couple of pounds too, which is great. The park started treating her in September. Once they finish all the treatment, they expect to move her to the baby gator area where we all can meet little Jolene. I love it. Well, thousands of people were in downtown Orlando this weekend celebrating all the different cultures at the 6th annual Fusion Fest. WESH 2's Liv Johnson talked to one family who showed up to learn about the different cultures in our world. Looks like a lot of fun. Now let's talk the holiday season. Hundreds of people enjoyed the beautiful lights and decorations in Lake County. It really looks like a Christmas movie. Downtown Mount Dora is shining so brightly. Check it out for yourself. All of these lights are up around Lake Dora's waterfront. There was a live band that performed at Light Up Mount Dora this weekend. And of course, Santa made an appearance. He ditched the sleigh for a boat. Got to do it Florida style. Then it was time to turn on thousands of lights.
Oh my gosh, well, I'm lucky enough to flip the switch, so now that I'm the mayor, it's fantastic. So, but even years past, even before I was on city council, it's just seeing those lights come on. It's not like any other city, at least in Florida, so it's pretty amazing.
So this year, there was also this spectacular drone and fireworks show. The dazzling lights and decor will stay up through January. Okay, city leaders in Longwood, they want to know how you are celebrating the holiday season. So if you are a home or business owner, you can decorate for the Light Up Longwood Holiday Lighting Contest. Just send in your submissions through the city's website, and then all of us get to vote through December 5th. The winners will get a trophy, they get a yard sign, and more importantly, full year of bragging rights. You get to say you did it best. To Kansas City now, the world's largest Christmas maze opened this weekend. There are 4 million lights on display at Legends Field. Can we just look at this beauty for a second? Oh my goodness. Hundreds of people gathered for the opening weekend, including actor and Kansas City native Eric Stonestreet. You may recognize him from Modern Family.
I love being home in Kansas City and seeing all my fellow Kansas Cityans, and now this is just something else that we can all look forward to doing around the holiday season.
The maze will open until New Year's Eve. Gotta love it. Oh my goodness, so much joy and just happiness.
Yes.
With the lights and the decor. You guys already know this is my favorite time of year.
It's so beautiful. I mean, and that's a neat idea for an event too. We have, you know, over the years we've done like the Speedway has their thing. Oh, Celebration has their thing. Lake Mary has their thing. So many different things happening. So
yeah, you and I are gonna help light up Lake Mary this Friday. Come check us out. The weather is finally getting on board, realizing that yes, we are in the holiday season.
I always laugh though, because it's like we're so used to the sunshine. You get a couple of days that look like this, tower cam cube.
And we're like, ew.
And it's like, what do we do? And it's like, well, we're heading into winter, people. Like, it's gonna happen from time to time. But yeah, there's a lot of clouds over top as we peek out on our Daytona Beach tower cam. It's gorgeous for what it is, right? 61 degrees New Smyrna Beach. It's 59 in Daytona Beach, 62 in Orlando, and the upper 50s, lower 60s north and west of town. A cool breeze coming right down the peninsula, 10, 15 miles an hour. It feels cool. Through the day, we're not really warming all that much, and first warning live Doppler radar is quiet. May develop a sprinkle, but I think that's going to be about it. You can very clearly see front is to the south. We've got a lot of clouds just streaming on through from the Gulf of Mexico. So our 12-hour forecast showing this morning overcast skies. Lunchtime through the afternoon, those temperatures gradually climbing 66 to 69 degrees, partly cloudy skies. And then through the evening, hey, temperatures are going to drop, and they're going to do so pretty quickly. So let's just start with today, right? Upper 60s, lower 70s from the metro to the south, but north of town, it's the mid 60s, and you factor in that breeze running 10, 15 miles an hour, it's gonna feel a little cool out there. But this is just the start Take Futurecast, for example. We've got the clouds, but we thin that out through the day, and look at that. By about 8, 9, 10 o'clock, it's a mainly clear sky. Some clouds working back in tonight, but it's going to be chilly. 40s and 50s around, the coolest air we have seen in months. 49 in Orlando, 49 degrees in Winter Garden, about 50 down to the Walt Disney Complex, 46 in DeLand, 48 Daytona Beach, 50 degrees in Edgewater, north and west of town, 44 Denellen, 45 degrees in Bushnell, and 45 degrees in Leesburg, 50 in Rockledge, and 50 in Melbourne. So there's that cool air moving in. The clouds acting as a little bit of a blanket. So even though we're getting into the 40s, the clouds keep us warmer. The next night, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, those clouds are gone and those temperatures are really dropping. The coldest air of the season by far is arriving. So for tomorrow afternoon, 61. The record low high temperature is 50, so it's not going to be that. Record low Wednesday morning is 34, not going to be there. It'll be 45 and chilly though. And then even Wednesday afternoon is going to be a cool 66. So it's not record setting, but it's definitely the chilliest air we've seen in quite some time, since like January on many cases. So be ready with the sweatshirts, but also know this, the 80s are returning by late week. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, the countdown is on. We are 8 months away from the Paris Olympic Games.
Amy Lou from our Washington Bureau has a closer look at a key element to the opening ceremony, that Olympic torch.
So exciting. The countdown is on. Of course, this is your home for all things Olympics. WESH 2 will have you covered as soon as the games begin, starting July 26th. It's going to be a great time.
All right, it is safe to say it's really been a roller coaster of a year for the UCF Knights football season, and the program is making its first appearance at the Big 12 Conference.
Yeah, but they did just enough this season to go bowling. That's right. UCF closed out the season against the Houston Cougars. The Knights are now bowl eligible and the only Big 12 newcomer to head to the postseason. Go Knights. The matchups for all 41 bowl games will be announced on Sunday. That is a huge accomplishment coming into a conference like that.
Yeah, congrats to them. And of course, we want to remind you about a big event happening Saturday here in Central Florida. Thousands of runners are going to take to the downtown Orlando streets for the OUC Orlando Half Marathon. WESH 2 is your source for race day coverage. We're going to watch the elite runners, your friends, and even some of the WESH 2 team out there racing. We'll bring you live coverage starting Saturday, December 2nd. That's at 7 in the morning on WESH 2 and on WESH.com.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. Have a wonderful day. We're back with WESH 2 News at noon.